Obviously disappointed the way that ended. Thought we had some opportunities to close the game out or finish the game with the ability to score touchdowns if we get in the red zone. We gave up a couple explosive plays for them from a passing situation that that cost us, and ultimately they out-executed us. In the end, we were able to do that last week, but we got to be able to do it game in, game out, and they were able to do that, and we did not.
Mike, what did you see on the pass interference?
Just ask me another question.
Is that just how much is that frustrating? That red zone was a point of emphasis to convert there.
Well, I mean, you get down there, right? We get down there, and there was one bootleg play that guy was wide open, and Matt's getting ready to throw it, and their defender at the last second tips the ball and falls to the ground. And we end up getting a field goal out of that. It's great for Ian Fry, but again, when you get down there, you want to have opportunities for the 6, and that ultimately led to the scoring disparity. There's not being able to punch it in for the scores.
Mike, I know on the one play you threw into the end zone, you ended up getting the interference on Charlie, which negated it. But has there been a reluctance at all to kind of put the ball into the end zone? It seems like a lot of the goal line plays have been kind of underneath, and the guy runs in like O did early in the game, or tries to run.
No, not a reluctance. Maybe you'd like to have more of the matchup, like the one that Kanan had there. We tried it with TJ a couple games ago. So, obviously you're always looking for ways, to get in the end zone, to score points, whichever way it is, with the personnel, with an individual or the play call. And that's the bottom line is we have to be more productive with scoring when we get down there.
Mike, it seemed like you pretty much held them in check except for 2 long plays down the middle of the field. What did you see there?
A matchup issue that you got to play a certain technique of coverage, and they're able to get inside on us, and we don't have any help, and you let a guy inside, then obviously they complete the pass, and they executed and we didn't. So there were a couple times that they did that on a couple of long throws there. But like I said, for the most defensive, I thought we played well in spurts, scored again on defense, which is important and significant. But got to be able to close out games and situations like this.
When you made the move back in training camp and moved Olamide as receiver, did you envision him having the kind of impact he's had this year?
What you see is he's got exceptional speed, and now the learning curve for him was to learn the receiver position and the alignments and assignments and all those. So we first started playing, and we tried to make it as simple as possible. But he's gotten so involved in the packages now that he's developed into being he's going to be a really good player here. So O is one of the guys that we count on as being a productive guy for us, and we're going to continue to keep doing that.
What difference did you think Kai made? It seemed like he seemed pretty sharp for a guy who's been out with a concussion.
Well, we knew going into it he was very efficient, and I believe he had 10 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And in this game he was 20 for 26, and then we did get the 1 pick off of him. So, he's demonstrated that he can run the offense and distribute the ball and be very efficient, and that's what he did today. You look at his numbers today, and 6 incompleted passes, 20 for 26, and then he did that. I don't think we got to him. We might have hit him a couple of times, but they did a good job of protecting him, and we've been pretty good normally if it wasn't with sacks, with hitting the quarterback. Although we got him down a couple of times, he stood in there and he made some throws.
Kind of your luck that he comes back the week that you play.
Like I said, he's a good player, and he executed today for them.
You thought you would see him.
You never know. We knew that he had a concussion, and they had to go through their own concussion protocol, and and obviously he was cleared to play, and he competed today.
Like a big reason for last week's success defensively, you stopped a lot on 3rd and 4th down. Georgia Tech this week, Miami was able to get you there. Anything that you saw that kind of hurt you guys in this situation?
Yeah, I believe we're the 8 for 13 on 3rd downs, and normally we do a better job of that. It's about getting to the quarterback. Sometimes it's about coverage. there's a few things that are always are the tipping point as to if you can get to the quarterback, hit him, make him move his feet, and today Brad did a good job, Kaya did a good job of throwing to his intended receivers, and they did a good job with some explosive plays, the yards after the catch. That was something that was evident out there today.
That's one in the locker room right now, and how do you keep the guys up with 3 games to go?
Marty, you just I didn't have to say much. I mean, seniors, got everybody together, and it's been a close season of close games, back and forth, and you want to be on the other side of that, the positiveness of what happens, when you're competing out there. And we came up short today, and they talk about getting back to work tomorrow when we get in and get ready for the next road game. So 2 of the next 3 are at home, but we got to take care of the next opponent, and that's Louisville.
One random play where Connor got in that was the trainer's equipment issue. What was that?
Yeah, he was got his bell rung there a little bit, and out of safety precautions, they kept him on the sideline and assessed where he was and what he was doing, and then obviously he was able to come back the next play.
How about Darius Lattimore? We haven't seen, I don't think, that much of him this year. Seemed to step up for you.
Yes, Darius is another defensive back, a defender that we want to play and get into the game. He's played in some games thus far, and without seeing what he graded out, he'll probably play in more games as he's been out there and has an opportunity to make some plays. He can run. That's one thing he can do. So it was good to see him, another young guy, emerge, particularly in this venue playing against really good receivers.